Welcome to another amazing, incredible episode of the PantyNectar podcast. I'm so happy you joined me today for episode 76. I don't think I've ever had more energy inside my body than I do in the last few days, which kind of contradicts everything that I just went through. But for this episode, I'm really excited to dive in with you guys about my Tony Robbins UPW event that I just attended. It was an incredible event. Life-changing, literally, not exaggerating. But before we dive into the episode, I just want to say thank you to all my fans and listeners and the people that comment and like and on all my stuff. I just want to say thank you so much. You guys were definitely patient with me over the last 4 days that I was gone. And I really appreciate all the love and support and all the conversations I've had already with some of you about growth and just about personal development and how to get better. So super grateful for that. Just wanted to say that up front. If you are new to the podcast, welcome to this episode. I was eating in my car earlier. This episode is maybe a little different than most of the topics that I've talked about before, but I just felt in my heart that there's no way that I couldn't talk about this topic or tell people about my experience that I just had. I just attended a Tony Robbins UPW event in Dallas, Texas. The event was incredible. I think there was over 11,000 people there. It was absolutely insane. But it was a life-changing event. And, one of the first things that you do when you go to these events is and for me, this is very hard. I had to get a little uncomfortable and chit-chat with new people. And I know some of you are going, what? You get uncomfortable doing that? Heck, yes, I do. So I had to meet people, chit chat, be friendly with people, get to know people. And for me to start conversations like that, it's usually hard for me. So you start right off the bat getting uncomfortable, which makes you grow, obviously. And so it was really cool being able to meet people. I met people from all over, met a girl from London who her and I hit it off right away. She was amazing. And just to think that if I didn't attend that event, I would not have met her. So it was just an incredible event. Over the 4 days, you start your days early. You get up early to get in line. So you start 6, 7 a.m. The event goes on the first day. I think we went until 1 a.m. I think it was about 1 a.m. And on that first day, there were actually no breaks, no designated breaks. You just had to kind of leave the room when you wanted to go grab food or go grab some water or whatever it is that you needed. So there were hardly any breaks during it. You're standing, you're jumping, you're hugging, you're laughing, you're crying, you're doing all these things. It's pretty incredible. So the first day was a long day, and the first day we walked on fire. And I know some of you are like, what? What do you mean? There's no way you walked on fire. They legitimately took burning coals and put them out on maybe a 7-8 foot span on top of fake turf grass because we were in a parking lot. But you literally walked across it barefoot, and it was the most crazy, out of this world thing. But it was to show you that your mind can literally do anything when you tell it to. And you guys, I walked across it barefoot, and they tell you you may get burned from the things, you may, things can happen. But if you stay in this state, which is very important, stay in this state, you can do it. And so it was pretty incredible. And I'm not going to lie, there was a guy, I unfortunately didn't get to talk to him or hear his story, but he did not have legs. So he was in a wheelchair during the event. And he walked on fire by doing a handstand and walking down the 7-8 foot span of burning coals, Like, if you want to talk about a hard motherfucker, that is crazy. So that was just like so inspiring right off the bat. So when you go into day 2, of course you're a little tired because you hadn't gotten a lot of sleep, but you start off the day feeling like the feeling is weird. Like it's not like, it almost feels like a fresh start, but it's like you're not quite there yet. So like everyone's kind of just like, you know, checking everything out when they get in. They tell you good morning, firewalkers. And then, so you go through that day. That day, Tony Robbins isn't there, so you've got other speakers like Joseph McClendon III, who had a really inspiring story. One of the main guys, Scott, I don't remember his last name, but one of Tony Robbins' main guys were there to speak at the event. And so that was a really good day. And then day 3 was another early day. That was Saturday. And all these go until like late at night, like 10, 11, 12. So day 3 is Transformation Day. And Transformation Day was really eye-opening. So just to give like a quick rundown, like one of the things that they do is like they have you write down your limiting beliefs. And your limiting beliefs can be anything from, you know, I don't think I'm worthy of unconditional love, or one guy said that his limiting belief was that like depression ran in his family, and that's just what it was. Like you just had depression, it was in your DNA, you were stuck with it, you could never get rid of it, it was for life. Someone else's limiting belief was like just anything, you get the gist, like just something that holds you back. Yeah, I'm live on OnlyFans right now, and Neil said, man, you've got more nerves in your hands compared to your feet. You absolutely do. That dude was insane. So you write down your limiting beliefs, you get real honest with yourself, and I'm not going to lie, it like took me a minute to think about it. And I didn't even realize this till after I came home from the event, and I was chatting with Mr. P about like the things we had gone over. And I realized then that like one of my big limiting beliefs, and this is just me being like raw and vulnerable with you guys, is that like life equals suffering. And I know that like some of you are probably caught really like, you know, caught off guard because I'm this very positive person, and like, you know, I'm like always smiling and always happy, and I am always positive. And I work really hard at that. But I grew up with parents that suffered because they didn't have much. And my parents, you know, thinking about it after the fact, after the event, I'm really realizing that like my parents' huge limiting belief was that like life equals suffering. To this day, my dad, you know, he thinks that, you know, these bad things happened to him because he deserved it, because God was doing these things to him. It's pretty crazy. So I didn't realize how strong that limiting belief was in me. And of course you break those things and you chant and like you do these crazy meditate. Like it was just an incredible experience. But I remember going back to the hotel room that night, and I literally just like started crying. Like that day, you know, you've been up for 3 days, pretty much, you've gotten hardly any sleep, and you're feeling all these things. And not only are you feeling all these things, you're feeling everybody else's things too, because there's 11,000 people in the room, and like everyone's doing these things, and some things you're doing partner exercises with random strangers. So that day like was just so heavy and so like exhausting. And I remember just like looking in the mirror, and I just like started crying and was like, and these aren't things that I wrote down in my book in the convention either. But I remember looking at myself saying, man, I'm so sick of suffering. Like I don't want to suffer anymore. And so it was just pretty incredible to be able to experience, like, to maybe take a step out of the picture a little bit and be able to look from a eagle eye point of view and see everything and realize like what's truly going on. I think a lot of us lack the ability and you know, I do as well. I think a lot of us lack the ability to be able to take a look from the outside in and have a non-judgmental view of what all of this is. So it was just a pretty incredible experience. Tony Robbins isn't doing many events live anymore, like in person. He does a lot of them virtual, but if you can make it to, even if you can make it to a virtual one, but if you can make it to an in-person event and you are someone who has been, you know, struggling, or maybe you're in a business and you're trying to find the next step, or maybe you have things that you want to work on, or relationships that you want to heal and mend. I highly recommend looking up a Tony Robbins event. It will forever change your life. And I, you know, met some people that I know will be my lifelong friends. It's pretty crazy to say that, but like, that's what that boot camp shit can do to you in 4 days. You know, it's crazy. I lost 10 pounds during the 4 days, because that's how much, like, you're just going. And I'm not saying everyone did that. My metabolism's just on fire, but 10 pounds, it's freaking nuts. So it was just a very great reset, a very great little rejuvenation of energy, and realizing that state is everything, energy is everything. They even talk about like how money is energy, money equals energy. And when you truly think about that, like, that makes a lot of sense as well. So it actually inspired me to really want to look into more of like psychological, holistic healing type stuff, because it's something that I'm very passionate about, as you guys know, because you're here. I love helping people. I love being positive. I love the body. I love the mind. I love what these things can do when they're given the right fuel. And I mean, like, I had a baby and I was 160 pounds when I had my baby, and I lost all the weight pretty much like within a few months. And like, that's just, I don't say that to brag. I say that to say, like, that's what happens when you can give your body the efficient things that it needs, provide it with these amazing things. Your body can bounce back like crazy. So it's just insane what our bodies and what our minds can do when we're in this state. And in this state of high energy. And so one thing that I've incorporated is dance parties. So I put on some music and I just dance around wherever I'm at, in my bedroom, in my living room, and I just get it done, because it is so much fun to just, like, why not bring your energy up? And, you know, like, if there's things that you're feeling bad about, I really challenge you to take a look through a different lens at this stuff. And like, one thing that it's made me think about is like, man, I have food in my fridge and my lights come on, and I have water that comes out of my sink. Like, I could not be any more grateful for those things, or the fact that my body just breathes on its own. Like, I don't have to do anything for this heart to beat. I don't have to do anything for these lungs to fill with air. Like, my body does this. How freaking crazy is that? I could not, like, it almost makes you want to cry, because you're like, how incredible that you were made like this. It's insane. And I'm just like really grateful that I was given a different perspective over the last 4 days. That convention was exhausting, but it was absolutely incredible. It was life-changing, and I just can't say that enough about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or DM or whatever platform you follow me on, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Shout out to Jesse and Jackson, who just commented on OF. Thank you so much for the kind words. Love you guys. Just so grateful for freaking everything, and it almost like resets me in this space as well, you know, with the podcast and all these platforms that I run. Like, it makes me so freaking grateful that, like, I get to do this and I get to talk with you guys and I get to reach thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Like, and I just know that I'm going to use that as a tool for good. And I'm just really pumped and really excited to see where this goes from here. I hope this message got you guys just as pumped. I'm like sitting in my car. People around me are probably like, look at this girl just hyped up in her car right now. But I am, and I'm so pumped. And I just wanted to share that experience with you guys. It was incredible. If you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of those. So thank you again for joining me for episode 76 of the PantyNectar podcast. I am excited. You know, the Dirty Confessions podcast was really good, and you guys were really intrigued with that. So I'm definitely going to do some more of those. Because let me tell you, if you're not on the Discord, you have been missing some good anonymous confessions. So that's all for now, you guys. If you could kindly leave me a 5-star review, I'd be so grateful. And have a great day, you guys. See ya.